I'm just coming off of the treasure hunt live stream. And if you haven't watched that one yet, do. And make sure you watch all the way to the end. My mind is still spinning in all sorts of directions. If you have seen that, you will understand perfectly my disposition going in to Money Game Part 3. Let's just do it. I wonder how well you can see. There's practice for you, right? I missed some text.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematic equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then a lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. 35. He gets the call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed up, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
I think in order to have anything even remotely relevant to say, I have to watch this. I have to just keep going. Sorry for all of you who just watched the whole thing without stopping, but this is absolutely incredible. Speechless. It's not... Oh.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble and perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. "45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
We can hear preachers, we can hear podcasts, we can listen to audiobooks, we can read books. We can go down all the self-help channels that we want to go down. But when we hear a story that disgusts us, that calls us out, and done so eloquently, this so perfectly puts into perspective why pursuits, goals, are so incredibly hollow. And there's so many ways that if you step back and look at yourself, you can see those warning signs of, oh, if I just had enough money, in this example, or if I just had enough fame, enough likes, enough views, if I was just good enough at this, if I was good enough at singing or better at whatever, I would be. We see examples over and over again of rich and famous people. This story, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's in progress inside me. It's in progress in my kids. For someone to put a mirror up, this is what's so brilliant about this delivery, this video, this song. I was about to say earlier that this is so much more than a song. This is a mirror. For an artist to be able to create something like this that functions as a mirror, it is far more effective, exponentially more effective than any podcast self-help, because it's done from a perspective of creative expression, not you should believe this or you should do this or I should or we should. It's just a story that in its art suggests, corrects, admonishes, does so many things. I'm completely blown away. I don't know that I have ever watched a music video. I know that I've never watched a music video that has impacted me this way. I don't know that I've ever listened to a song that creates this kind of mirror. And I don't know if I would stop at calling this a song. I mean, the video itself, this is a mini movie. And let's watch the closing scene again with Ren's song Masochist and Knox Hill's analysis of what that song was symbolizing.
He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Now that's the typical most unfortunate end, right? But if we take what Ren was communicating in Masochist,
it's this purge of identity, this purge of where we've come from. And I like to think that this purge is happening in order to create something new. I'm just going to murder my identity, my ego, myself, and everything. I'm going to tear it all down and set it on fire.
Before we get to the point where we want to end our physical existence, what are the other things that we can kill? What are the other things that are gonna get us and inadvertently end our physical existence? The pursuits, greed, all these things. What can we do to kill those things before they kill us? And if we look at, Money Games 1, 2, and 3, and then we look at what he did in Masochist, and we put a little bit of Lost All Faith in there, we are seeing inside the mind of someone who has suffered become more introspective and vulnerable and real and true. The amount of self-discovery that Ren has been able to go through is just amazing. Maybe it's because of suffering. I don't know. But let's bring this back to any pursuits that we have, not just money. Let's bring it back to being good as an artist, having a good voice. If we pursue goodness, if we pursue having a good voice, if we pursue having a lot of money, if we pursue, even if we get it, because we had the pursuit in mind the whole time and not the quality of the journey and how we are developing as a human, how our consciousness is developing, how our perspectives and our perceptions of ourselves, if we forget about all those things or ignore all those things because we're so focused on a pursuit, even if we get what we wanted it's not going to feel like enough because we discounted what it took to get there. We discounted the journey. The journey is the reward. So what makes up a fulfilling journey if it's not based on a series of pursuits? What do we do? How do we get out of the money game? By continually killing the desire to elevate ourselves, our needs, our desires, our pursuits above others. We put others as similarly imperfect and horrific as they are to us. We put others before ourselves. And we continually kill the desire to leapfrog above them. I don't do that well. I mean, when we think about it, we're all working towards our own demise anyway. And so if we can intentionally foster the decreasing of ourselves and the elevating of those around us, we are passing along our energy, whatever goodness we may have, rather than it being taken from us, even if by ourselves. If we have the giving mindset, what we give cannot be taken away from us. Lots more to think about. Thank you so much, Ren, for this incredible afternoon of reminders and introspection. Absolutely incredible.